The World Video Game Hall of Fame is an annual ceremony we hold here at The Strong, where we celebrate some of the most iconic video games of all time.
Games are just as much an art form as movies or paintings.
And I think it's really important to preserve them so we can see, as these games continue to progress into VR and other mediums, that we know our history and we know where we're coming from.
The Strong has the most comprehensive collection of games and material related to the development of games in the entire world.
And this is the place that we want people to feel like is the home for video game history and where people can come to find these icons.
In order for a game to get into the World Video Game Hall of Fame, it needs to meet 4 criteria: icon status, influence, geographical reach, and longevity.
Icon status, so people who aren't even gamers might recognize it, like Mario. Everyone knows who Mario is.
Donkey Kong, they know it. Doom, they know it.
Has a game been around for a few years, or has it been for decades, like Pokemon?
And is it still popular today, even if it, came out in the 70s or 80s?
Games that are influential influence not only gaming as a whole, but also on popular culture.
We really want games that have made a huge impact on society, culture, and play.
A video game that doesn't just stay in the country of origin, but actually extends into other countries as well.
Worldwide, are people playing it everywhere?
The World Video Game Hall of Fame gives The Strong a chance to say, hey, these are really important games that have an important influence not only on games, but also on culture and society at large.
And here at The Strong, we hope that we can preserve video games so that future generations can see the historical significance of those games on culture.
The World Video Game Hall of Fame celebrates some of the most important games of all time. You never know what's going to be nominated and inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Listen.
Hi everyone, I'm John Paul Dyson, Director of the International Center for the History of Electronic Games at the Strong Museum. We're here today because we're announcing the latest inductees into the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Normally we do this live, but because of the worldwide situation, we're doing it virtually. But it's a good reminder of the important role video games are having on the way we play, the way we learn, and the way we connect with one another. And with this ceremony, we're honoring some of the most important games of all time. Now here are 4 of my colleagues to welcome the latest inductees into the World Video Game Hall of Fame.
Hi, I'm Shannon Simons, Curator for Electronic Games, and I am so thrilled to be announcing our next inductee into the World Video Game Hall of Fame. It's the first game in a franchise that's one of my personal favorites. I must have played these games hundreds of times. They are just that excellent. Okay, did anyone else hear that? That was weird. Anyway, the point is, this is not only just a fun game, it's really important in the history of the puzzle genre, because it's the first game to really popularize that match 3 mechanic that we're seeing in so many games today. Without it, we probably wouldn't have something like Candy Crush, which is just sort of unbelievable. Alright, I know I heard something there. Anyway, this is a really popular game. Everyone enjoys it. Men, women, children, old, young, and it's been downloaded over more than 500 million times, which is pretty amazing when you realize that the entire point of the game is just to sit there matching 3 gems over and over and over again until there are no more moves. Alright, you know what? This is just getting too weird. I'm out of here. Your next inductee is PopCap's Bejeweled.
In 2001, PopCap Games introduced Bejeweled, a browser game that would popularize the Match 3 puzzle game. While initially available for personal computers on ad-supported gaming sites, the game truly took off with the advent of mobile phones. Released first on Motorola's Razr, and later as a launch game on the Apple App Store. The game's popularity became so great that Electronic Arts purchased PopCap for $1.3 billion in 2011. Developers estimated in 2013 that Bejeweled had been downloaded more than 500 million times by players around the world. Bejeweled went on to inspire many successful titles using the same game mechanic, including Puzzle Quest and the incredibly successful Candy Crush series, along with numerous sequels and spin-offs in the Bejeweled franchise. While not the first Match 3 puzzle game, Bejeweled's simplistic but addictive gameplay continues to be enjoyed by millions of gamers and non-gamers worldwide.
Hi, I'm Jason Kapalka, the designer of Bejeweled. When we developed Bejeweled 20 years ago, we couldn't have imagined that it would be played by hundreds of millions of people around the world, spawn a whole new genre of casual Match 3 games, and be inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame. On behalf of the whole team at PopCap, I'd like to thank the Strong for this amazing honor.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Saucier, Assistant Vice President for Interpretation and Electronic Games here at The Strong. And I am so excited to announce our next inductee because I curate the museum's collection of coin-operated games. And I have to tell you that over the years, this game has taken way too many of my quarters. It is a true arcade classic, and it's one of Atari's best-selling arcade games of all time. Our next inductee is Centipede.
Atari released the now classic arcade game Centipede in 1981. Ed Logg led a team that included programmer Donna Bailey to develop Centipede, a fixed-shooter arcade game that ultimately became one of the most commercially successful titles of the video arcade's golden age. Rather than taking place in outer space or a fantasy realm, Centipede shrunk players down to conquer the world of insects. The gameplay demanded both skill and concentration, with mounting intensity as the game progressed. Bailey wanted the game to be compelling and look appealing in a dark arcade, choosing bright pastel colors for the graphics. Centipede was immediately a success for Atari. It had broad popular appeal and was a particular favorite with female players. Centipede has been re-released multiple times for home video game platforms, and new versions of the title in arcades give a new generation the ability to play this addictive and iconic game.
Hi, my name is Ed Logg. I am the designer and project leader of Centipede. Centipede was the second most successful coin-operated game done at Atari. I am still amazed every time I attend game shows to see Centipede or when I receive recognition for the work we did in the early video game industry. So on behalf of Donna Bailey, the programmer, as well as the rest of the development team, I want to thank The Strong for inducting Centipede into the World Video Game Hall of Fame. This is quite an honor, and I really appreciate the acknowledgement.
Hello, I'm Donna Bailey, the programmer of Arcade Centipede. I'm coming to you from isolation in my home, but I wish we could all be together instead. I would like to thank the Strong Museum for being one of the entities helping to keep alive the memory and legacy of Centipede and of so many other video games. I would also like to thank the Strong for their dedication to telling the complete story of video games through the Women in Games initiative. Thank you very much for including me and for this recognition.
Hi, I'm Julia Novakovic, archivist in the Brian Sutton Smith Library and Archives of Play here at The Strong, and I'm honored to be announcing the next inductee in this year's class. This game was designed by Roberta Williams, one of the earliest female game designers, who co-founded Sierra Online along with her programmer husband, Ken. In the archives at The Strong, we preserve their records from Sierra Online and make them accessible to researchers all across the globe. Our next finalist forever impacted the adventure game landscape, compelling many of us to go on a journey fit for a royal family. Our next inductee is King's Quest.
Originally released in 1984 for IBM's PC Junior, Sierra Online's King's Quest featured colorful graphics, enhanced sounds, and a fairy tale setting that set the new standard for adventure games. Designed by Sierra co-founder Roberta Williams, King's Quest introduced players to the world of Daventry, where the ailing King Edward promised gallant knight Sir Graham his throne if he could retrieve 3 magical treasures. Players interacted with this world by typing short phrases like "bow to the king" and "read note," attempting to solve difficult puzzles that had many players looking for help. The game's fairy tale setting, stunning visuals, irreverent humor, and pseudo-three-dimensional landscape made King's Quest a breakout hit. The game's popularity soared among adventure gamers, spawning multiple sequels. More than any other game, King's Quest established or reinforced many of the conventions of the adventure games that followed it, even to this day.
I'm Andrew Borman, and as the digital games curator here at The Strong, I'm excited because the next game found its initial success on digital storefronts rather than physical ones. In fact, I'm one of the millions out there who bought the game while it was still in the alpha phase, long before its 1.0 release. The next game inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame is Minecraft.
Construction play is one of the oldest forms of play, and toy makers have created building toys for hundreds of years. Perhaps the most innovative construction toy of all time is Minecraft, first released as a public alpha test in 2009. Calling Minecraft a toy rather than a game is perhaps apt. Its flexible rules offer endless play possibilities that don't end with one player losing. Players participating in the survival mode or the creative mode enter a random, procedurally generated world filled with resources they need to extract to start building, with virtually limitless possibilities for what they can build. More than just a game, Minecraft is a community with tens of millions of active users in which individuals play with friends of all ages on dedicated servers or with strangers from all over the world. Players chat, share videos, stream their play, and learn from one another. As of 2019, the game had sold more than 176 million copies across all platforms, even allowing players on competing platforms to play together in the largest sandbox game ever.
Hi, I'm Lydia Winters, the Chief Storyteller at Mojang Studios. No one could have predicted the amazing path Minecraft has taken, even those of us working on it. It's been a crazy journey and one we are still on, since we keep updating Minecraft 11 years later. The beauty of a sandbox game is the player gets to decide what they do, and we've seen our incredible community use Minecraft in ways we never could have imagined. Seeing what players create in Minecraft constantly inspires and pushes us to continue innovating our game. We are honored to be inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame at the Strong and sit alongside such an incredible lineup of games throughout history. Thank you.
So there we have it. Bejeweled, King's Quest, Centipede, and Minecraft, the 4 latest inductees in the World Video Game Hall of Fame. You can learn more about these games on our website, and meanwhile, just enjoy playing these great games and join other games that have made it into the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Thanks so much for watching, and keep playing.